I'm doing also a lot in film and TV, and I'm professor of voice and speech in the Academy of Arts of Split, and also directing occasions. Let me introduce you to our guests. Lady first. Arianne from Graffenried. I'm going to read this because I don't want to miss anything. Arianne von Graffenried is a Swiss author with a doctorate in theater studies and writes text for the stage, radio, and newspapers, as well as scientific texts. The book Babylon Park is her most recent work from 2017. She has received several literary prizes for her texts. Welcome, Arianne. The other guest is Renato Baretić. He is a well-known Croatian journalist and writer. His works have been translated and published in many languages: English, Slovenian, German, Macedonian, Polish, Italian, Russian, and Ukrainian, and published in the original in Serbia. So the question would be, what is Mediterranean today as a source of creativity, as an inspiration? Oh, hello.
Sorry. Here was Renato.
Yes, I told them. Yeah.
He stopped me, and then the group was.
Are you ready? Ralph Hammerthaler comes from Germany. He writes novels, stories, and essays, as well as plays and opera libretti. His plays have been translated into several languages. He was a guest dramaturg at the Berlin Schaubühne, and he is a socio honorario of the Teatro Sombrero Azul in Mexico City. Well, let's start with our conversation. I wrote the question, and I hope you know it. Okay. The question is, the theme is how to write theater texts and scripts and how to show today's situation on the Mediterranean with the means of the performing arts and film.
Well, it's, I think, difficult for me because I'm coming from a mountain country. It's just very cold, and the Mediterranean is somehow far away. And of course, we love it for all the reasons you just mentioned, for the good food, for the relaxation. But for me, as an artist, it's important to just go to a place, have a look at it, and be, of course, confronted with the problems there, with doing a lot of research. Maybe I can link it the best to the travel conversation. We had the travel book conversation when Renato explained how he works, for example. It's very similar to the way I work, and the musician Robert Abelhardt and I, we did a record, and it is called Grand Tour. So it's sort of a bit of an ironical comment on the educational trip to the Mediterranean, to Europe in the...
Talking about the Mediterranean, well, I don't know, maybe we are watching it right now, this occasion and this festival, first issue of festival, maybe too Eurocentric, you know, because Mediterranean is not only this let's say northern side of the sea, and I hope next year we'll have some people from at least more people from southern coasts. Mediterranean is Mediterranean today is actually very difficult to use as a motive in art, I believe, because yes.
That's also one thing in the Mediterranean that's common. I think it's really a constant dynamism, constant movement. As I see Mediterranean from inside, the first image when I say Mediterranean is like a boiling. It's constant moving. Every now and then there is a war. War. Every other day is summer, is war, and so many other migrations, lot of talking, lot of noise, lot of images, lot of gestures. That is Mediterranean, really, and movement.
You have to think about film and theater too, no?
Yes.
In my opinion, also this refugee crisis is the main subject nowadays. But there is no refugee crisis. We have a crisis of global justice, and we all have to try to deal with it somehow. In Berlin, the Berlin Academy of Arts made a project 2 years ago. They invited 8 writers, I was one of them, and 18 refugees. And the refugees told their stories to the writers, and the writers were trying to tell them as a literary story. And there was a book in the end. So it's not theater, but it's a book in the end.
I asked for your final word, but I don't think we have any more time.